When did you have to parent your own parents? The day I realized my dad had been secretly living in our old minivan for 3 months while pretending to go to work every day. I only found out because I got food poisoning and left college early to surprise him for his birthday. His car wasn't in the driveway, which was weird since he worked from home now. Well, that's what he'd been telling us since the company restructured his position back in January. Mom was at her book club, so I figured I'd wait and maybe order his favorite Chinese takeout as a surprise. I waited until 6 p.m. when he usually came home from the office and watched him pull up in our old 2004 Honda Odyssey, the same van we took family road trips in when I was little. He got out slowly, stretched like he'd been driving all day, then grabbed his empty briefcase from the back seat, the same leather briefcase he'd carried to his corporate job for 15 years. He looked around the neighborhood nervously before walking to our front door, like he was checking if anyone was watching. "Hey, Dad, surprise," I said when he walked in. He nearly jumped out of his skin. "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be in class?" "Got sick. Wanted to come celebrate your birthday early." He forced a smile, but I could see panic in his eyes. That's wonderful, kiddo. Let me just wash up after my long day at the office." That night at dinner, he went on and on about his difficult clients and how the new office space downtown was still an adjustment. Mom hung on every word, so proud that her husband was thriving in his new consulting role. His work shirts weren't wrinkled like they used to be. They looked like they'd been hanging up all day. His shoes were too clean for someone walking around a downtown office. And when Mom asked about his coworkers, his stories were vague and recycled. I made a decision that felt horrible but necessary. I followed him. He drove to a McDonald's parking lot 15 minutes from our house, pulled into a spot facing the street, and just sat there. For 20 minutes, I watched him organize papers in his briefcase, eat what looked like a granola bar, and check his phone. Then he reclined the driver's seat and closed his eyes. I sat in my car, stunned, as other people came and went. Business meetings, coffee runs, normal Tuesday morning stuff. Meanwhile, my father was taking a nap in a fast food parking lot. At 10 a.m., he drove to the public library. I watched him walk in with his briefcase like he owned the place. Through the window, I could see him at a computer, probably applying for jobs or just killing time. Lunch was a $1 menu burger, eaten alone in the van. The afternoon was spent at different locations. Another library, a park bench where he read a newspaper someone had left behind, a grocery store parking lot where he seemed to know the security guard. At 5:30, he drove to a gas station, bought a coffee, and sat in the van for 30 minutes before heading home. When he walked through our front door at 6 p.m. sharp, he was transformed back into the successful consultant. "How was work, honey?" Mom asked, kissing his cheek. "Exhausting," he said with a tired smile, "but productive. Very productive." When I confronted him the next morning after Mom left for work, he broke down completely. He'd been laid off 9 months ago, but couldn't bring himself to tell us. He'd been using his severance pay to maintain the illusion, but the money ran out 2 months ago. "I didn't want you to drop out of school," he sobbed. "Your mom's been so proud telling her book club how well I'm doing." He'd been showering at Planet Fitness, sleeping in the van behind Walmart, and had gotten to know the night security guard who'd bring him coffee sometimes. This was Michigan winter. Some nights hit 15 below. I spent the next week becoming his job coach, teaching a 52-year-old man how LinkedIn works, why his 15-year-old resume format wouldn't get past automated screening systems. He got hired at Home Depot making $12 an hour, but every morning, he still puts on that same suit and carries that briefcase like he's running the company.